Hello everyone, this is Diane. I am here to share this Autumn Woodlands journal with you today. This is complete. It will be in my shop at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, Tuesday, October 25th. This one is called Autumn Woodlands. I used a kit from Charm Studios called Autumn Woodlands, and I used for this collage, a lot of these elements are from Eclectic Eggplant, a couple of different fall fussy cut kits that she has. I will link all of those kits below. This is created with an antique marbled book cover, and it measures 5 7/8 by 9 inches. The spine is 2.5 inches. And it's covered with a faux leather. I use this pretty yellowish lace on the edges of the leather, fake leather. And you can see the collage I did here. There is a video showing putting this together. And the leather on the corners was very, very worn. You could see the book board through it. And I added these pretty copper book plates on all 4 corners. And you can see that I added a charm here. Not exactly a charm, some dangles on several colors of string that go with the colors of this journal, and some natural colored beads and wood. They all came from vintage necklaces that I got at flea markets this year. And then to hold it closed, because it got pretty thick, I used a hitch post, hitch fastener, and a hair tie. So I'll try to go through it pretty quickly. There's a lot in here. I love autumn. It's my favorite time of year. I love the profusion of colors, the layering of leaves, the layering of clothing, because I start layering sweaters on top of my other clothes, and the layering of the leaves piling up on the ground. And so there's lots of layering in this book, starting right here. And I layered with stamping, with collages, and with colors. So here I used my Big Shot to cut this piece. I have a die that cuts out this orangey looking piece there, and I backed it onto green cardstock, and that is from Eclectic Eggplant. There's a owl card that you can use to journal, and you can write your name on that if you'd like. This is one of the pockets from the Charm Studio Autumn Woodlands kit. So anything you see that looks like this, it has some animals and it has woodland scenes and it has these colorations. That's from all the pages in the digitals are from Charm Studio. We made a couple of tags, a few tags on Tag Tuesday last week. So this is one of them. So you can go back and watch that video if you missed it. There's some crochet trim on the edge of this page and a bulb pin with an owl charm. There's one on the front of each signature. So I will show them to you so we don't have to stop to look at them, because each one is different. There are, yesterday I could have told you, because I did a video yesterday, but I had to redo it. There are 13 pages per signature, so the number of pages is in the listing. And by 13 pages, I mean 13 folded pages, so each signature is actually 13 times 4. So here's some layering. Well, the baking pan that I used to dry this in the oven left this pattern on it, and then I layered different stamps with different colors, and then added this embossed piece of paper. It's a textured paper, and then I embossed it in this stamped image. The Charm Studio pages have lines to make it easy to journal. I do need to show you this, I added a lot of things sticking out of the top, various fabrics and trims, laces. And at the bottom, there's some fringe and some lace. And on the edge, of course, there's the owl charms and laces and just things sticking out. I hope you'll be able to see this okay. It is dark outside, so there's no light coming in my window. Here I stamped a deer on this old piece of linen. It was a scrap that I had left over. And I just sewed it on there and added some pretty lace down here. This is a vintage stationery piece. There's some layered stamping here and muslin, some more stamping. I keep wanting to call her Mrs. It's Edith Holden Page here. And a very fine pale green, kind of like a mulberry paper here. This is taken from a vintage album, a bound album, and it was being used as a ledger, and someone drew a grid on it with pencil lines. I did some stamping, and this is a sticker. There are some fabric flips in here with vintage fabrics. I stamped some birds on that piece of fabric there. And this is just a sheet from a tablet that I got at the flea market from Green Bay and Western Railway, and then there's a mushroom stamped down there. This is one of the pages that I colored, and there's a video about how I did the dyeing of the pages. And so you can see the layers of color there and the layers of washi tape. There is a book page here from the Reader's Digest. I think this is from the Reader's Digest North American Wildlife book. There's a tab, fabric tab. There's some pretty birch trees and the fringe. These are painter's masking papers, and I just crumpled them up to add some texture. That's an Edith Holden text page with some stamped mushrooms, a little textured embossed piece of paper there, and some mushroom washi tape. And I made that into a pocket. Inside the pocket is a page from a book with a little verse on the back, and you can write there. And this is from a memoranda book from 1967, and it's dated in October to go along with the autumn theme. Here we have some stamping on vellum and stamping on some colored cardstock, painted cardstock, and die cut. And in the center of each signature you will find a piece of gentleman's bonded stationery. It's a vintage piece, and I didn't do anything to the ties yet. I think I'll just cut them short. Let's just do that right now. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them. They're tied in a double knot, so they're secure now. I'll just cut them short. This has leaves stamped along the edge and pine cones in various colors. I had fun making this pocket. It's got Edith Holden paper behind it, some mulberry paper, and this doily cut out of patchwork patterned paper, and one of the images, the ephemera pieces from the kit. There's a dyed index card with a stamp on it, and this came from the other kit that I'm going to use in the other journal, but there were extras of these cards. There's a batik large fabric tab there. I used brown thread for all the stitching in here. I love this squirrel image. Here's another Tag Tuesday element that we did last Tuesday, and it's 2 tags turned sideways, collaged, stamped, and it is now a tuck spot. And I included this postcard of a buck in northwestern Pennsylvania. This is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I had it printed a long time ago, and it has owls on the other side of the page. So I just decided to use those few pages that I had printed in these journals. There's the other side of that album page that had the pencil lines. There's some names written up there. Just a little stamping on this page. There's a chipmunk. And this is the other side of the stationery. I just added a Mrs. Coggs owl image that I already had printed. And I added some of the leaf trim. There's a little hedgehog up there. I stamped a deer over here. Some deer over there. There's a embossed piece of cream paper there, so it kind of looks like he's standing in snow. There is a coffee dyed glassine bag here. I added some lace in one of the embellishments, and I made a tag with an owl picture. And there's an owl hanging on the bulb pin. Just added that little black and white piece. That's the first signature. Second signature has a pocket on the front and this pretty lacy label. This tag was made with an Edith Holden page. That's a stamped element there. I used the same stamp to emboss in gold so they back each other. I just had both of those pieces in my stash. There's a little mushroom stamp up there. Here is an embossed textured paper with owls on it. It looks like a pocket, but it's not. It's just glued down and it has a little bit of mulberry paper behind it. Got some hedgehogs and birds on this page with a pretty piece of lace up there. The first and the third signatures have that mushroom and fern stationery, and along with that stationery there were some plain sheets. So the center signature has a plain sheet of stationery, and I dressed it up the same way I did the other one. Get that pretty trim right there. It's a vintage piece. I stamped a border stamp up here, and this fits in it perfectly with these little ends sticking out. This stamp, you can see that's stamped on the other side. It's just showing through. There it is. And this really pretty green border. Just another page from that album. Pretty fern stamp. Another fabric flip with some fringe up there, vintage fringe. And there's a computer card. This was on a perforated sheet, and I just stamped a pine cone and a border. This has a tab with some pretty dangly brown lace. There's a piece of wide rust-colored lace here that you can tuck something in there. I think I made this pocket on a video. It's got a little fox, and there's a little page from a ham radio operator's little record book, log book, and it's a children's playing card. It's got a chipmunk on that side, and a fox on this side. Another die cut and some stickers of mushrooms. On this side there's another pocket and a piece of handmade paper and little bits of vintage crochet. This is just a scrap of cut off paper. Here is a collaged pocket. I believe we did this one on a video, although I didn't do the sewing on video. I like the way that turned out. And tucked into that is a page from an Edith Holden book, and you can use that wherever you would like. You can make ephemera with it and just do what you want with it. And this is just a double page from a vintage pocket notebook. This one has little pockets from the kit. So rather than just put a little tiny corner pocket in the corner, I just put them both on one page to give it more impact. They just have a little small tag and a fussy cut from Eclectic Eggplant. Some more stamping here. It's got corners stamped and a little bunny. It's a chipmunk sticker. Some more layering here of stamps and embossed paper and a little bunny stamp. Another glassine bag with some lace and a stamped mushroom. And remember, this is a tag that we did on a video with ledger back there. So don't forget, you can just move this aside and do some journaling there and on the back. And the third signature has this page from a little date book or memoranda book, and it's 1883. And it has this card in it with birds. This pretty fringe here with rust and olive. There's gold in there and kind of a gold tassel. So very beautiful fall colors. There's stamping on vellum here, and I stamped on the page first and then layered the vellum on top of it. Muslin. There's a piece of very vintage lace up here. I don't know if it's antique, but it could be. And there's another pocket similar to the one we did on video. And this one has the other side of that Ephemera's Vintage Garden page. You can write on the back of it. Again, a die cut and then a stenciled piece, stamped piece, vellum, layered on top of it. There's a little bird here with some flowers. It says sing. The journaling spot stamped there. This needs something in its pocket. Oops, I just dropped a postcard. Okay. How about this? I don't have any of these pages in there. It's from an old address book. I'm just going to fold it and tuck it in there. And I'll tuck a piece of ephemera in there too, I think. I'll just put him in there. He doesn't have anything on, he has writing on the back, and you can just glue him wherever you want to. There's a tab here, fabric tab, and another collage pocket with a vintage notebook paper and a scrap of coffee dyed scrapbook paper. There's a little stamp here with a baby fawn. Well, a fawn is a baby, right? Another piece of that green mulberry paper. And this has a flower on the bulb pin. And there's a little squirrel, really cute squirrel on that stamp. Then on the back cover is a library pocket, and I covered the bottom part of it with embossed paper and a little fungi sticker, and just embellished it up here with washi tape and a little number. It's got a mushroom on there and a vintage library card. And I just love the beautiful marbling, the color on this book. So this one is Autumn Woodlands, and it will be in my shop at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, Tuesday, October 25th. And come on back to see work on the next journal. I think the next couple of videos you'll see will be from a flea market haul from today. I went to a flea market today. But after that, you might see some videos of this journal. And I'll talk about where I got these papers in those videos. And after this one, we'll get started on Christmas ones, I promise. All right, that takes care of that video for today. Hope you like this journal. Please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. My shop where this journal will be found is listed in the description box, along with the digital kits that I mentioned. And I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.